So I wanted to talk about something that I figured to make life a little easier when changing the needles on this machine. So first of all, you always take off this cover, make sure the power's off or unplugged preferably. Put your foot all the way down. Okay. See, lots of fluff. So what I found is trying to get in here and get in here with it, even with tweed, it's just terrible. So the easiest way I found, and it sounds awful, but it's not bad at all. Get your larger Allen key, okay? And then there are two things you need to loosen. So the first thing you want to loosen is the foot down here, the plastic bit, and just move it out of the way. It moves out of the way quite easily. As you can see, I've just put it in behind. The reason is because you want to check that the needles go in the holes clearly without hitting anything. So that's part one when you're finished. The second part is lower this just to make it easier for you. And then it's Allen key, unscrew this one turn. Okay? Then now you've got, I'll zoom out. Oop, wrong way. Now you've got the needle holder. Lots of fluff here. So let me zoom in again. And what you can see, there's just one Allen key to hold it in place. That usually goes around 45 degrees to the shaft. There and abouts. But what you can do is you can use the small Allen key now to replace your needles. And it's much easier to do it using gravity as your friend rather than fighting gravity. So you just unscrew it, and then of course you can get your pliers to get them all in and out, and they're all completely accessible. So I just found this far easier because it took me so long to try and wedge in there. The pins would fall down in the holes. It was just far too much of a pain. So this is actually very easy on this machine. Once you tighten them all back up, you just put your Allen key back in the box here, and then step one to putting it back on is approximately at 90 degrees. So the Allen key against the shaft. So I'm just going to lower this down here, okay, to where it's really close to the holes. Then tighten it just snugly, not tight, snug. So that means if you really turn on it, it will turn. And the reason you want to do this is you want to get those needles into the center of the holes as close as possible, just like I've done that. So if you sort of turn them wrong and then all of a sudden, oh, I can't get it, it won't go down, use the hand crank and oh, it won't go down. Turn it slightly. Do they go in? Yes, they go in. Okay, are they kind of mostly centered? Some are, some aren't. You're never going to get them perfectly centered, but they should not hit. Then tighten it up in the most center position for all the holes. Then just turn it up and down. Oh, yeah, it's not touching anything, so I'm kind of good with that. So that's tight enough, right? Good. Now part two is bring the plastic bit back. Now this is where the biggest challenge I found happens. Finding out where this lines up. I found this one, the holes are not, there may be more damage or whatever on this, but it's a little more fussy finding out where the clearance is. So once you've found it, adjust it, hold it in place with your finger, just make sure it's not hitting. Oop. Okay, and if that doesn't kind of work as you expect, what I would do is take a little turn slightly back. Remember, we said to center as many in the holes as you could. And then you've got a bit of wiggle room. So now this appears to be, so it's one screw here on the foot. And I'll just tighten that up and I'll make sure it's still clear. Pretty good. So I'll tighten that up. Yep. And now I'll raise the foot and I will do one more test to approximately where you're going to be felting, just to make sure it's definitely clear. And then you're good to put the guard back. And that I found is the fastest way for me to change the needles. Especially because sometimes I get a bit clumsy and break quite a few of them all in one go. So, just putting the drawer back. Oops. The needles are in the way. There we go. There we go. Okay. And now we can flick the beast back on. Run one test before we get our project anywhere near it. And that's it. Needles are changed. So hopefully that will help you.